Hello everyone and welcome to Barca News. It's December 10th, 2022 and Barcelona are reportedly working on signing N'Golo Kante as a possible replacement for Sergio Busquets. Also, the club have reportedly set a January deadline to decide whether to go all in for Moukoko, and Barcelona have told Memphis Depay's agent that he will not be leaving for free in the winter transfer market. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and today the 2022 Qatar World Cup quarterfinals ended, and man oh man did we have some very exciting matches with lots of surprises and lots of nail-biting moments. Now the first quarterfinal match was between Croatia and Brazil, where Croatia stunned the world and eliminated one of the favorite teams to win the World Cup, Brazil, in a penalty shootout. Now with this result, another Barcelona player has been eliminated out of the World Cup, and that player is of course Rafinha. Now the second exciting match was between Argentina and Netherlands, where Argentina were comfortably leading 2-0 in the 83rd minute until Netherlands were able to score 2 goals and tie the match in stoppage time. And as such, that match went all the way to penalty shootout where Argentina prevailed. Now this match where Lionel Messi scored a goal and provided assist had a lot of controversy, where the Spanish referee Mateo Laos made some disastrous calls, including issuing 17 yellow cards, which was a World Cup record. Now this disastrous performance by the referee caused both Frenkie de Jong and Lionel Messi to make statements about the referee. And these of course are two players who usually don't make much statements in the media, but that's how bad the refereeing was that caused Frenkie de Jong to complain about Mateo Laos by saying, as soon as regulation time ended, they went for him. From that moment, he only whistled for Argentina. It was really scandalous. I think he lost his way in extra time. Now, Lionel Messi also had some negative statements to make about the referee Mateo Laos, and he said, I don't want to talk about the referee because you can't say what you think, to be honest, because you will be sanctioned immediately. But FIFA has to consider it. You can't put a referee like that in this instance for a match with such magnitude. It's so important. He's not up to par. People saw what happened. We were afraid before the game because we know how he was. Now the disastrous performance by Mateo Laos, where he turned a rather peaceful match into a very contentious one with lots of outbursts by the players and with both teams leaving dissatisfied with the performance of the referee, is of course something very familiar to us Barcelona fans, because we've all had to witness the terrible performance of Mateo Laos in previous matches where his disastrous decisions have negatively impacted Barcelona in many previous instances. Now the reason I bring this up is because it touches on something that I've talked about a lot in my previous videos, which is the mediocrity of Spanish football, of Spanish refereeing, where someone like Mateo Laos, who likes to make matches about him, where he likes the spotlight, where he likes to make controversial calls, is allowed to continue refereeing in La Liga. And it's of course something very regretful, because these terrible referees have negatively impacted Barcelona this season, with many penalty calls not being called in favor of the club, and more recently with the unjustified 3-match ban that has been handed down for Robert Lewandowski. Now the silver lining of Mateo Laos' terrible performance in yesterday's quarterfinal is of course that it's brought the entire world's attention to his horrible refereeing. So hopefully this will cause La Liga to make some changes, because someone like Mateo Laos should not be allowed to referee any official matches, let alone a World Cup quarterfinal. Now the second surprise of the World Cup quarterfinals was when Morocco stunned the world and eliminated Portugal by defeating them 1-0. And with this result, the first Barcelona player qualified to the semifinals, and that player is of course Abde, who's currently on loan with Osasuna. Now the final match was between France and England, where France defeated England 2-1, and where Harry Kane had the chance to equalize the score during the final moments of the match, but he was unable to do so when he missed a penalty kick. And with this result, 2 more Barcelona players have qualified to the semifinals, and those players are Jules Koundé and Ousmane Dembélé. Now on to the news that Barcelona are reportedly working on signing N'Golo Kante as a possible replacement for Sergio Busquets. Now, as I reported many times before, both Joan Laporta and Jordi Cruyff have made it very clear that it's going to be very difficult for Barcelona to sign players, given the strict financial fair play rules imposed by La Liga. And as such, Barcelona have now begun to look for free agent to reinforce the squad, because it's going to be very difficult for Barcelona to pay transfer fees to players, especially since La Liga's president Javier Tebas has not only threatened to place Barcelona under the 1-to-4 ratio rule, but Javier Tebas has also told Barcelona that he will not accept any more activation of economic levers. And as such, it's going to be very difficult for Barcelona to sign players. So they are going to be looking to sign free agents to continue reinforcing the squad. Now, Barcelona's main priorities to reinforce the squad is, of course, the right back position and the pivot position, given that Sergio Busquets will most likely be leaving at the end of his contract in the summer of 2023. And Barcelona are now looking for free agents to try to reinforce that pivot position. And the number one option was, of course, İlkay Gündoğan, whose contract will expire with Manchester City in the summer of 2023. Well, it's now being reported that the German-Turkish midfielder has decided to extend his contract with the Premier League club. And as such, Barcelona have now turned their attention to N'Golo Kante, whose contract will also expire in the summer of 2023 with the Premier League club Chelsea. Now, it's reported that Barcelona have been in contact with N'Golo Kante's camp for the past few weeks, and that a possible signing of the player is contingent on Barcelona performing exhaustive physical exams of Kante, given that the player has been suffering from a lot of injuries as of late, where he has missed the World Cup and where he hasn't played much of this season. Now, if N'Golo Kante can pass all these physical exams and Barcelona can determine that he's healthy, then they are going to try to sign him in the summer of 2023 as a possible replacement for Sergio Busquets. Now, of course, there remains the option of Ruben Neves, the current pivot of Wolverhampton, who is the favorite option of the sporting committee, and whose agent Jorge Mendes already has a deal in place for the transfer of the player to Barcelona. However, as I reported before, Xavi is not a big fan of Ruben Neves. However, it is reported that if Xavi does run out of options, that he will most likely greenlight the operation of Neves. And once that green light is received by the sporting committee, then Ruben Neves will arrive in Barcelona. Now, on to the news that Barcelona have set a January deadline to decide whether they're going to go all in for Youssef Moukoko. Now, as I reported previously, Real Madrid are very close to signing Endrick from Palmeiras for a total package of $72 million. And Endrick was a Barcelona target to take over Robert Lewandowski. However, given his prohibitive price, Barcelona were not able to make a push for the young player, and as such, Real Madrid will now be signing Endrick from Palmeiras. Now, as a result, Barcelona are now forced to look for a future striker, one that's either low cost or a free agent. And that brings us to Dortmund sensation Youssef Moukoko. Now, as I reported many times before, Youssef Moukoko is an 18-year-old striker whose contract will expire with the Bundesliga club in the summer of 2023. And as such, he's become one of the most coveted players in Europe, not only because he will be a free agent in the summer of 2023, but also because he's considered one of the most promising young talents in football. And any club who will be able to sign this young sensation for free will be an absolute steal for that club. Now, Barcelona scouts are very happy with Youssef Moukoko, and it's reported that the club are very impressed with the performance of the young star. However, they are considering certain risks, such as the young age of the player and whether he will be able to make it in Barcelona. And another big risk is, of course, the financial risk, because even though Youssef Moukoko could arrive in Barcelona for free, there's still the matter of his salary and his signing bonus, which will be a big expenditure for Barcelona. Now, the club have set a January deadline to consider and evaluate whether they want to go for Moukoko, whether they want to go all in for Moukoko. And once that deadline is reached, then Barcelona will make a final decision on whether to go all in or whether to wait a few more years to see how Youssef Moukoko ends up developing. Now, Chelsea have approached Youssef Moukoko to see if they could sign him from Dortmund, but it's reported that the player will only greenlight a move to Barcelona, and if he can't go to Barcelona, then he will renew his contract with Dortmund. But as of now, there is no agreement between him and a Bundesliga club, because he wants a low release clause, because he knows that many European clubs are interested in him, and he doesn't want to close the door on any of those clubs. And of course, on the other hand, Dortmund want to cash in on their rising young star. Now, Youssef Moukoko is not the only option to reinforce the Barcelona's attack in the future. There is also the option of Estevao, someone who I mentioned a few weeks ago, who is the teammate of Endrick at Palmeiras. Now, Estevao is a 15-year-old striker, and he has said in previous interviews that it's his dream to arrive in Barcelona. And there's also some reports from scouts saying that Estevao could possess even more skills and more talents than Endrick, and he could also arrive in Barcelona for a much lower price. So this could be a great option for the club. But of course, he is 15 years old, so he won't be able to join Barcelona for another 3 years when he turns 18. Now, another option for Barcelona to reinforce their attack in the future is right here at home, and that option is Lamine Yamal. Now, Lamine Yamal is a 15-year-old winger who currently plays for the under-19 Barcelona team, and his contract will expire with the club in the summer of 2024. Now, Lamine Yamal will turn 16 pretty soon, and once he does, he'll be able to sign his first professional contract. And as such, Barcelona need to work as hard as possible to try to extend the contract of this young player, because football scouts continue to praise this young star and say that he will be a huge star in the future. Now, on to the news that Barcelona are considering extending the contract of Sergi Roberto. Now, as I reported many times before, neither Xavi nor the club are impressed with Hector Bellerin, and as such, Barcelona are looking to offload him during this winter transfer market in order to clear space on their wage bill for the incoming new signings. Now, it's reported that Hector Bellerin would prefer to remain in Barcelona, not only because he wants to stay at the club, but also because if he does end up staying until the summer, which is when his contract expires, he will be able to leave as a free agent, and as such, he will be able to negotiate a better salary and a better signing bonus with his future club. Now, Barcelona were previously linked with Dortmund's right back, Thomas Meunier. However, the Bundesliga club has now informed Barcelona and the player that they will not be allowing Meunier to leave before the summer transfer market. So as such, if Barcelona want to sign Thomas Meunier in the winter, it will be impossible. Now, of course, Xavi's number one options to reinforce the right back is Juan Foyth. However, as both Jordi Cruyff and Joan Laporta have explained, it's going to be very difficult for Barcelona to sign players in the winter transfer market. So if Xavi is left without any options for the right back position, then he does want Barcelona to extend the contract of Sergi Roberto past the expiration of the summer of 2023. Now, even though Sergi Roberto has given us many memorable moments and he's been a great asset for the club, it's my personal opinion that it will be an absolute mistake to extend the contract of Sergi Roberto, because I believe that his time at the club is up. Not only because of his advanced age, but also because he has spent most of the season injured and he has dealt with a lot of injuries last season. So I believe that it's time to bid farewell to Sergi Roberto. Now, we will end today's video with the news that Barcelona have informed Depay's camp that he will not be leaving for free in the winter transfer market. Now, as I reported many times before, Barcelona are looking to offload Depay in the winter transfer market in order to clear space on their wage bill for the incoming new signings. And Depay is also looking to leave the club because he wants a primary role, and he knows he won't be having that role with the presence of Robert Lewandowski on the squad. Now, both Barcelona and Depay have been working on parting ways, and as I reported previously, Depay wants to leave the club as a free agent, and even though Barcelona had considered allowing Memphis Depay to leave for free, they have now informed the player that they will not be allowing him to leave for free, and if he wants to leave for free, he will have to wait until the summer transfer market when his contract expires with Barcelona. Now, there is some very strong interest in Depay in the Premier League, more specifically from Manchester United, who are looking to replace Cristiano Ronaldo after they fired him, given his very controversial interview that he gave to Piers Morgan. And there's also very strong interest in Depay from Arsenal, whose star striker Gabriel Jesus just got injured and will be out until March. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I'd like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, Busquets.